Let us continue. Let us continue our journey into the wonderful world of Victorian-era London as we become the great detective himself, Sherlock Holmes. Right, Watson. Wagwan.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Oh yeah, he does.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
I wonder why this is a thing. And why she's always at the window staring at us. Oh, you can actually see her, can't you? Yeah, you can. Why do you stare at me so? Plants can be used for murder, sensation, an exotic method of murder. The arsenal of our present-day criminals may soon be refilled with poisonous plants. A young and beautiful woman, in collaboration with her colleague at Kew Gardens, planned the terrible murder of their director, Mr. Montague Dunn. Only one detective was capable of uncovering the truth behind a tragedy that was initially believed to be a simple heart attack. That detective's name is Sherlock Holmes. Hooray for me! Right, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do?
A map of London and the surroundings.
No, go out the door. Let's start with Scotland Yard, actually. Let's talk to this fine young fellow.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
I'll be the judge of that, Lestrade.
Mr. Holmes, what is the trouble with that lad? Isn't he guilty of murder?
Is there a body? Is there a body? There is no body. And without a body, there can be no crime. Wait, where's the evidence room?
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
2 shots for 2 people. Come on, wibbly webbly.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Then tell me everything.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Layton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Can't remember hearing his footsteps. Grew up on the street, did you, boy?
We shall see you soon, young man.
Right. Leighton Chapman is in his 20s and is Wiggins' older brother. Growing up on the streets and being a hot-headed lad, he committed a crime for which he served time in Westgate Prison. He's currently detached from his past street life and is probably working somewhere as an office clerk. What's that? Alright, to Half Moon Street. Let's hope that this map doesn't crash every time I want to go here, like Kew Gardens.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Poor little Wiggins. Poor little Wiggins. Okay, we can't go that way or that way. Oh, it's awfully dark. I hope I don't bump into Jack the Ripper. Aha.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Yes, thank you, Constable. Very, very helpful. Brian Vercotti. He's the one who was shot in the stomach.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
The same as Leighton.
Brian Vercotti and Leighton Chapman both have identical Westgate Prison tattoos. They were most likely acquainted.
Not looking good for you, Leighton. That is your real name.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Mr. Holmes, I had no doubt about this case, but now that you are here...
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
An ordinary one, I would expect. Anything else before we move on to Sherlock Holmes mode?
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
It is still looking very much like Leighton did it, though, isn't it? Hi, Wiggins.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
I'm not going to answer you, apparently.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed a lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment. Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You sound like an alcoholic. Are you an alcoholic? Oh, you're a war veteran. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. That was, He's probably got a, some form of war injury then, I would imagine. What am I missing? Hello?
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
I'm so glad that the murderer has been caught.
Right, as it stands, what have we got? Leighton's statements. Don't tally with anything. Mr. Turner stated that he remained at the window of his flat until the police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Marrow's statement, as the constable did not see anyone at the window. Simultaneous shots. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fired shots, as in fact 3 shots were made. At first a single shot was fired, and then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. Or, Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fired shots as they were made from different points in Half Moon Street. I don't know. I don't know. But that requires reenactment. Okay, lootless. And then we have double murder. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vicotti were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. which conflicts with that, but okay. Is there anything down here to investigate just a little bit more? Hello, lady. Polly Pocket.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Give it to me.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
And then we have the person whom Leighton Chapman describes in his statements as a figment of his own imagination, created to vindicate himself. Which is in direct conflict with a few of the other things that we have as well. The witness testimonies and the crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit, Leighton Chapman. It's not looking good for him at the moment, is it, really? Right, let's right, we can't go any further down there.
Locked.
What's this? A door that we can maybe go in later. Maybe. Would be nice to see.
This mirror is turned towards Half Moon Street.
But why?
Locked.
Come on, Sherlock.
Locked.
Do some breaking and entering. You know you want to. Okay, let's go double check these guys again.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
Wah!
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly.
Okay.
This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago.
Fire. Ashes. Paper.
The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
What are you hiding, Mr. Turner?
Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots.
Are you a illiterate man, Mr.
The
Turner?
books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago. A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims.
Mr. Turner. You naughty boy.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it? It's a kitchen knife.
There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
What are you hiding, Mr. Turner? What are you hiding?
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
Whoops. Approached the body, took something. Okay, so that's going to be number 1. Oh no. That's not going to be number 1. He's going to get out of bed. Then he's going to open the window, see that, then he's going to approach the body and take it. Then he's going to place the broken stick, take something, cuts the pages with a knife, and then throws it in the fire. Oh, does that mean it was wrong? How is that wrong? He has to get up first. He has to. Did I misclick maybe? Then you're going to open the window, approach the body and take something. place that. Then... Right? I don't know what happened before. He gets up, comes over here, opens the window. Gets down here and takes something. Limps all the way back up. Does that. Does that. Does that.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
That is the question, isn't it? Fat prints.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look. Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Aha. Got some explaining to do, sir.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
Ha! You have a limp.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Antique bracelet.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
I wish this crime had never happened, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, well, don't we all? What are you doing?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
I am always one.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
How about shutting the fuck up?
I suppose that I shall have to move my stool now.
I suppose so. Right, what have we got? An archive for that bracelet, and talk to young Manny Man. Let's go to Scotland Yard first. Talk to Leighton. Are there any more deductions for me to make? No. What's up?
Mr. Holmes, what is the trouble with that?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Hua! Westgate prisoners.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Right, what have we got now? Old acquaintance. This is the violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had a personal motive. Could have. I'm still not hugely convinced. Right, let's do some investigating. Can I do any analysis? What am I looking for? Antique bracelets. No, 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 no.
That is not the one I need.
It isn't religious. Ain't gonna be newspapers, encyclopedias, I guess.
That is not. That is. That. That.
These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, necklace, and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Mytilene have been missing from the museum since 1885.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
Use the article about antiques. Part of the ancient blah blah blah. 1885 newspapers. Hellenistic treasures stolen. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glassford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawnshop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawnshop in Church Street. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. He was recognised by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported the collection of Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still to be found.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Do we have any more deductions? Right, how are we looking here then? No, I don't want to go that way. Watson, are you just going to stand outside? I'll do all the investigating, Watson. Don't you worry. Is this a pub? I want to go to the pub. Why is it so dark inside, but I can hear music and laughter? Ah. That one must be someone's house. Ballard's Pint. Yes, please. Butlers. Is that a... I need to leave. Yeah, I don't want to leave. Okay, let's go to Butler's.
The door is locked, but I won't try to pick it. There are people directly behind me. Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
Ah, wow. Deduction skills at their finest. Who would have thought that the key we found on the person belonged to the door to get into the person's shop?
Crampons and a sharp ice axe would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
Is that my object of interest? Okay. Okay. Right, what else have we got, sir?
A flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor.
That's also an object of interest.
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mytilene collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewellery with ram heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with this money bag for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley and Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks. Brian Vicotti. Okay, that explains why they were there.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
Is there nothing else? So we now have Butler's Jewels long lost. Okay, maybe not. Oh, it's here. Burglary motive. The search for the missing Hellenistic treasures could be the motive for the crime that was committed in Half Moon Street. Mr. Turner picked up the bracelet directly after the murder, but the ring is still missing. Personal motive. The violent crime committed in Half Moon by... I mean, it sounds like it's probably related to this stuff, right? I would have thought. So that's imaginary man, double murder. Leighton Chapman committed a double murder at Half Moon Street. No, I don't believe that's true. His motive was the theft of ancient and valuable treasures, the last piece of the 5 rams of Mytilene. The ring with the ram head still remains lost. So I still think that's probably simultaneous shots. Okay, what now? There was a possible crossfire between Kenneth Butler and Brian Vicotti at Half Moon Street. Examine the dead bodies and perform a reenactment. Okay, are they still at the... Oh, we just left them in the streets. I hope so. Sleepy boy.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
Okay.
A fairly long pole with a forked end.
That's also an object of interest. Where did it come from?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
That is good.
I'll do anything.
Good, okay. Let's use my imagination powers. One of the victims possibly fired his gun twice. Find out who it might have been.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Oh, that's convenient that I just found this.
This should be useful. Nothing interesting here.
Okay. Why? I don't understand why he's like, ah, well, if he shot twice, he must have shot up at this piece of wall up here.
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
Okay, so Kenneth Butler and Brian Vacotti both died of crossfire. One of them with each of them holding a gun. One of the guns is now missing. Okay. Disappearing man. Leighton Chapman's statement regarding the jacketed man who disappeared at Half Moon Street now seems reasonable, as the 3 shots at the crime scene prove the presence of a second gun that's now missing.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood. I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
A skibbity bibbity boop bop wop. A skibbity bibbity shibap wop.
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
Okay, and that means... if we can assume that there was one more person in Half Moon Street at the time of the crime, then there was no way forward or back for his escape, only up. Let us reenact the action, recreate the fireworks described by Leighton, and attempt to climb the wall.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
What wall am I attempting to climb up? Find the flare gun to emulate the fireworks. Ah, yes. Oh, we have some more people to read about. But Ryan Turner is around 60 years of age. He is a veteran of the Crimean War, a fact of which he is very proud. His leg was most likely injured during this war, and he has been limping since then. Mr. Turner lives a poor life. Not Half Moon Street, sorry. Pawn shop.
These tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
What was the flag on? There it is.
This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
What were we doing? Simulating something.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
What? What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen, is it?
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can. This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there?
I'm not here, Watson.
I should try climbing faster.
I was climbing as fast as I fucking could. Going as fast as I can, Watson.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
There we go. Marvellous. Inspect the attic. I'm inspecting. Oh my god, I'm inspecting so hard.
These shards of glass are from the window above. Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste he ripped his jacket. A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
That fairly conclusively proves it wasn't Leighton then. That gives us Leighton's innocence. Leighton Chapman's statement regarding the mysterious jacketed man who participated in the shooting at Half Moon Street was proven to be true, or the witness testimonies in the crime weapon clearly point to one. Okay, so that is contradicting with this, but I don't have anything else that I can do. I still think that's simultaneous shots, by the way. Okay. Yeah, we wanted to go back to Baker Street.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't fuss, one little hair. The horsehair is thinner than the hair that we found. Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
A hair from a large and exotic animal. Imaginary man. Circus acrobat. The man who vanished from the crime scene at Half Moon Street could be a circus acrobat. He managed to scale a 30-foot-high wall in a matter of seconds. A hair from a large exotic animal was found on his discarded jacket. Oh. Vanishing act. The person who was seen only by Leighton Chapman escaped the crime scene by climbing the wall. He was a skillful acrobat. The criminal took a gun from one of the dead bodies. Okay, feel like we're getting somewhere.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Why would I want to call Wiggins from here? That makes sense.
Wiggins is currently at Half Moon Street.
Okay. Wiggins!
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing. Not like you.
Oi, watch your tongue.
To be fair, Wiggins, we've got very different jobs.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
He's a Mr. Police Bobby and I'm a detective.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal, a very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
The next morning, very early.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
The Duval Brothers
Duval
Circus.
Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that is currently stopped in London. And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Wonderful. Oh no, all of my other places have gone. No! What if I missed clues and evidence?
Aye, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah, you don't look like the type of, artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah, I don't think so. Clear off. You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost.
I don't want to get
You're a
lost.
bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost.
Shut up.
You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost.
Surely your makeup disguise is suitable for entering the circus. Some facial hair, seedy suit, and a hat. Okay. What kind of hat do you reckon? Well, not his deer stalker. Excuse me. I was pressing my my Twitch mute button, but it doesn't seem to be working. I thought I'd muted. I'm so sorry. I sneezed in front of everyone. Why isn't my Twitch mute button working? That's very frustrating. I don't think I need glasses. He did say facial hair, though. Yes. And a seedy suit, he said. Black, brown, green, grey, light, farmer outfit, morning gown, sailor outfit, unbuttoned suit, casual suit. Bandit outfit. What do we think? Alright.
I'd better wear a shabby hat.
Oh, what? Okay.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
I'm ready to go, Watson.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Charles Foley is inside the marquee.
Okay, but I need to explore your circus first. Doing a very quick swoop-de-doop. Anything of interest would be most appreciated. There's bugger all. Do.
So, everything is here, just as you asked. Now what about the money?
Some of the barrels are wet.
Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped.
Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies.
I want to be paid first.
No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said.
Right?
I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout.
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
I'd like to examine these barrels, please.
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. The crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure. This wooden... Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder.
Wonderful.
The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry.
A huge pile of gunpowder. Just what we needed. What was that? Ah.
There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting.
Oh my god. Wait. No, it's May.
From lambs into lions. Those are words of encouragement and defiance. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion amongst the people. This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see Sherlock near the chains on a table over there. Open that.
Okay. I don't know how you managed to sneak up on me. I'm the great Sherlock Holmes, don't you know? Complex key, protected safe. Recent trauma. Armed with a bulldog revolver. And he's wearing the Maitaleleni ring. So it's him then. He's the acrobat. Man in jacket. Charles Foley wears an antique ring, the last missing piece of the 5 rams of Maitaleni. And also a revolver retained under his belt. It proves that Charles Foley is our mysterious jacketed man who nimbly escaped the crime scene at Half Moon Street. Did I actually finish up? Alright, Mr. Foley. Let's open this lock then for you, shall we? There you go, Mr. Foley. Very easy that one was.
Oh. Well, they're right. What's your name?
Roger.
Nigel Shirley.
Oh, Nigel.
From York.
Sorry.
Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
What? Oh.
Nigel from York.
I don't know.
Never heard anything about you.
I don't know how I
How'd
heard
you
about
hear
you.
about me?
I heard about you because of... Well, no, apparently. Turner's limp, no. Turner's contradicts. Jail thief?
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher.
Yeah, why
Foley,
isn't Westgate
in prison.
Prisoners the right
He
answer
told
then?
me all about his betrayal and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for me craft.
Well, he died 7 days ago in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on a corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
Okay. Was there...
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures. This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge.
Yet it's progressively harder than all of the others I've ever had to deal with, Sherlock. Right, this has to be one of those two, doesn't it? And if that's the case, that has to be that one, which then goes up there, and then the green. Would go there like that. You probably go there like that, yep.
I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it.
I sure hope I don't get caught. Because they've told me where to meet now, haven't they? Should proper do like a Yorkshire accent for the rest of this playthrough. So that, you know, I can get proper in character and that.
This cupboard is an absolute mess. Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try.
Ah. Well, there's the safe. I want to examine the rest of the... I want to examine the rest of the house first. That's why I'm here. As Obi-Wan said to a tall blue lady once. What the fuck? I was in the kitchen. That was weird. Ah, a ghost. Literally nothing to investigate here. I am the greatest investigator.
So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Does that... connects up with one of them but not the other. And that also connects up with one of them but not the other. Right, that has to go there. Which means that that has to go there. And if we follow this back round to the gold one. There we go.
What a surprise! Another lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock. Let us wait for the thieves, trap them, and find out.
Okay, Sherlock, you're the boss man.
Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door.
Okay. These windows are all boarded up.
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. This door leads to a kitchen, which holds the shortest route to the back door. This chair is... This should be you. The door is now blocked. The door is...
Very good.
This should be...
I will take the rope, yes. Very handy, very useful.
The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police.
Okay, can we not just move this?
That is quite... This works very well. No one will escape through this window now.
Okay, so he's still going to run through the door. He's just... I don't think there's much we can really do. Oh, chandelier.
I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached. I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful. Now, if anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall. Oh, that's a lovely old carpet.
Okay.
If he runs through the dining room and takes a sledgehammer to force open the door, the chandelier will knock him down. The door is now blocked.
Okay, that's good. What am I supposed to do with this carpet?
Oh, that...
It's a lovely old carpet, apparently. Excuse me. Since my mute button doesn't appear to be working, I'm going to have to apologize every time I sneeze.
Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape. This is the perfect place to set a trap.
Okay, what about these pearls?
A simple but rather attractive bead necklace. This should be useful.
Then we scatter them at the top of the stairs.
One step on these beads, and our thief will go flying. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly.
Good. And then all this is blocked. What happens if I run over them? Nothing. He's still able to run out the back door. Oh, a hatch.
This hatch leads to a cellar. There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out. This hatch.
Item required. Oh, carpet. Of course. No Sherlock this way.
This Now, it's not an open hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Now, if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Yes, indeed.
Police! Police! Stop where you are! Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
Well, you sounded just like a real bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How'd you know about that?
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder, and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers!
Okay.
Holmes, that is incredible. The Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to find.
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
Don't move, you flim-flammer.
What a beautiful collection of art. It was thought lost.
Why is Mycroft acting as though it's my fault? I didn't get in contact with him at
Trap
all.
with the chandelier worked perfectly. Charles Foley has been knocked down.
Holmes, I had no doubt that you would catch the thieves.
One of Foley's companions. He is unconscious.
Shouldn't there be a policeman, like, making sure he doesn't get up and walk out the door?
One of Foley's companions. He is unconscious.
Hehe. We've got precious safe and long lost art. Which leads us to... Wait, is that all of them? I've got all the clues! Hidden art. The antiques discovered inside the hidden safe of the abandoned manor at Notting Hill represent the collection of Hellenistic treasures that were stolen in 1885 and considered to be lost. Which all leads to Foley's vengeance. Charles Foley organised the theft of the Hellenistic treasures, which was related to the double murder at Half Moon Street. Leighton Chapman was a witness to the crime. Charles Foley will be imprisoned for organising a grand theft. Since he is not directly guilty of murder, his sentence will be shortened. Charles Foley organised and executed a wicked plan of vengeance with the added theft of ancient and valuable treasures. He deserves... Yeah, too right. Fuck you, Charles Foley.
Charles Foley, you committed the crime of premeditated murder and of theft. You will be severely punished for your deeds.
You are pitiful, you Scotland Yard dog.
Save your words for the gallows. I'm sure the journalists will love them. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
What's my unfinished business?
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people? Sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
No.
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
I blew up a circus instead.
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of, pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
Charles Foley organized and executed a wicked plan of revenge for his elder brother. It took 2 human lives and almost resulted in the life imprisonment for an innocent man. In fact, his band was hired by the Merry Men, who planned a revolution in London. In addition, he organized the theft of ancient and valuable treasures that rightfully belonged to the British Museum. He deserves the rope. Did I get it right? Was it Foley? Ayo! That's 6 for 6. Next. Law Protector. Oh, game over. This was the last case. I wasn't certain. We're going to look at all the people we convicted now. Well, that was a fun game. I had no idea this game existed before going through my Amazon library and seeing that at some point it was apparently free. And thus, I played it. Amazon, or Epic, one of the two. But yeah, fun game all around. Thoroughly enjoyed, besides Kew Gardens that kept crashing. That was annoying. Anyway, let's watch the credits and listen to this lovely lilting Victorian twinkle twog piano. I guess we can read this. Charles Foley is a member of, and the leader of the Duval Brothers Circus. He is a skillful acrobat who actively practices his craft. Foley is a superstitious man. He is armed and dangerous. He has a penchant for wearing jewellery. We can only go to Baker Street, and we did this. And we got the Merry Men Rebellious poster. Marvellous. I don't think there's anything else we can do. So, that being said, thanks for watching, guys. It has been a blast. I'll probably be streaming later. A new game. Not sure what to play yet, but probably we might finish Shadowrun. We'll see. But thanks for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure and a treat. I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.